My name is Chris.
And I'm Sarah. We met in the 5th grade, actually, and he found me on classmates.com.
A week later, we had our first official date, and it's been a party since then.
We're super excited because we're pregnant with our very first child together, donor conceived. It took us about 10 days after we were married to start wanting to try and make a family.
Yeah, while
together.
we were dating, we actually did names.
Never did anything to try not to get pregnant. And after a
Medical
year and a
treatment.
half after we had gotten married, that we went to the doctor and we said, we're young, able-bodied people and we're trying to have a baby and it's not happening. At the time I was much bigger and he said, well, you're awfully big to be having a baby. He didn't test Chris, he didn't do anything, he just told me that I need to go on a diet. I went and I had weight loss surgery and I lost all the weight that he said was the reason why we weren't having a baby. And all my everything was perfect, and every doctor that I saw said there's no reason why you shouldn't be having a baby. So we took the whole family to a whole nother doctor.
Yeah.
We said, look, we've been trying to have a kid for well over 4 or 5 years now. It's not happening. I've done all this work. We need to get him tested. We need to know what's going on.
When the test came back from the reproductive place, seeing that class A was 0 was devastating. It was pretty heartbreaking that she had gone through iron infusion and the gastric bypass, and then it turned out to definitely be me, and it was just very difficult to accept. I was reflecting on my relationship with her daughter. Rachel was obviously not mine, so she has been the biggest reason why I truly felt like parenthood was not genetics. When she was 8 or 9 years old is when I really said, I don't care, she's my daughter, and I'm going to say that she's my daughter forever. And then I think she was 13 or 14 the first time she mentioned that she wanted me to walk her down the aisle.
Aww.
And sorry.
It's so cute.
And I just took that as an incredible honor. We started talking about sperm donors and possible alternative treatments.
Once we decided to use a donor, I researched a bunch of different cryobanks and figured out that we definitely wanted to go with California Cryobank. I love that they have such a strong history and high reliability rates and stuff like that. So we cut it down to about 12 people. And I said, okay, these are the 12 best choices for us. And I have a favorite, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. And I left him there with all the windows open, and I said, you pick your favorite, and at the end, if your favorite's different than mine, then we'll have some kind of deathmatch shoot-off or something. But if your favorite is the same as mine, then we'll know that it's meant to be, and that's who we should just pick.
I was looking for sort of myself on the website. What you realize is it is more about the looks and not necessarily about the personality.
Which is hilarious because I was all about the personality. Once I had narrowed it down to those 12 guys, I started reading all the things that the CCB staff said about them. And that was what really drew me in, because my favorite, they said, I don't know if this guy lives the most exciting life or if he just tells a really great story. And I thought, that's the kid I want to have at my house.
And the fact that he came up as talkative definitely felt like a match for her, and I'm a natural listener, so.
He comes out and he says, well, this guy is my favorite. I just keep coming back to this one. And it was my favorite. So we just went with that guy.
When I found out that I may have to choose a donor path, I wanted to have more kids. I needed to have more kids. We were looking at adoption and donor. We may still go down the adoption route, but I'm glad to be going through the entire baby process, and I feel like it's the entire process.
In the end, we'll have this little child that was born out of our love and our perseverance and our willingness to go through whatever it took to bring him or her into our family. You have to know who you are and where you come from, and we'll tell them before they understand, and then we'll tell them when they understand and as they grow older, so that they'll know we picked you special and we made you because we wanted to have you and be a part of our family. I think that any child would be lucky to have that legacy.
I agree.